Well, hello out there. It's been a while since I've done a tutorial. I'm going to do a look at this image right here. And I just want to warn people up front. I think there'll be lots of value in the beginning of the tutorial. And then I think there may be parts of this that get extremely boring and slow. But I'm going to just take a look at this image. So we've been asked to clean up this image and put it on maybe a gray or a black background. And I think that's definitely doable. It's really hard. It'd be very easy to put this on white, and there's a lot of decisions that'll have to be made in order to put it on black. So I think that there's three ways to approach this. I have cleaned out my downloads folder. Aren't you proud of me? And so, starting out, what do first? You make a folder, right? And let's look at it. We know it's going to say Georgia. I'm going to call it the Georgia Collage. I'll call it the Georgia State Collage. All right, boom. And I'm just going to take this and put it in there. And I make a folder inside there called Concept. Because, at this point, all this is a concept image. It's not a real design. And let's look at it. And I think the artwork, there's a little struggle down here. I love the peaches. I think that's done pretty well. The deer is fine. No problems there. Don't see any problems with the birds. I think the artwork is tip top, actually. The more I think about it and look at it, it's pretty great. I don't see anything that's just glaring out at me. It's obviously AI because of the kind of cloth-like texture to everything. But it's not annoyingly AI. I've got some areas that could be improved. So the way I see it is there's really three approaches to this. There's the first approach would be to render this on a with white around it, just like there'll be white in some of the areas. It might need even like a white border just to be, balanced. So, you could keep a lot of the white, maybe keep it between the legs here and just have like kind of like a torn edge finish. I think that would be one approach. I think there's an approach where we put it on, a black background. We have it recreated. It's quite a lot to do that with. That's one of the problems with like a really, overly busy image like this. I think we need to give ourselves a little bit of room here because it's cropped in too tight and it's actually touching there. So like your torn edge idea, my torn edge idea won't work. But that's an approach, that's an approach. And when you're making a request like this, it's really good to give a lot of ideas of how to handle all the problems that the image presents, because the biggest thing is the decisions. What are you going to do with those clouds? Like, you can't do those clouds, obviously those have to go. But yeah, you can kind of see what I mean, like, some kind of shape around it, that followed the contours, but like had its own, look. We'd do like a torn edge all the way around it. And that's a way that you could put this thing that's designed for white, because that's what it is. The challenge is, if we put this on a white shirt, we're done. It's so easy. You just knock the white out and be done. And I'll show you all that, but the other side of this is, it's designed for white. And the challenge that we've been tasked with is that they want to put it on black or gray. So it's very, very difficult. All right. And so, you could do the torn edge look. You could redesign it for black with AI, which will be difficult, but it's possible. The other thing that you could do is you could isolate the individual pieces and re-render them, and then it'll be a lot easier to pull it cleanly off this white background after you upscale those individual pieces. Now, I'm going to try the quick and easy way to get this ready. No. First, I'm going to show you how wonderful and simple and easy this would be on white. Okay. So I've got a little state line problem here. I just created at the bottom. Let's start out getting the shape of the state of Georgia. Shape of Georgia. I've got a sticky keyboard. Everybody that watches my videos probably knows that. All right, so there's the state. Oh, it's at Adobe stock. Great. I can just snag that real fast. I highly recommend having an Adobe stock license. What a wonderful thing. So I'm just going to download the JPEG version of this. And there it comes. And we'll pop that on down here. And, you know, why am I doing this at this point? Because I want to have a base image. In fact, let's just go ahead and upscale the concept. I'm going to take this. We'll export this as PNG. We'll put it in here. I'm going to make a folder called Pieces. And I'll put this in that folder. I'm going to call this base image. And then I'll take this. I'm going to call this Georgia. We'll put that in there. We'll put that in Pieces. Okay. And let's upscale the concept. So we just got a working base that's a reasonable size. Here's our base image. All right. I'm just using upscale. And I'm going to go, whoa, that's the Georgia mic. All right, I have not had very much coffee. That should have been the first disclaimer. I'm doing it again. All right. So we'll take this out 4x. So it's not crazy big, but it's also big enough that if you wanted to use some of these elements, you'd be okay. So here's your base. Yeah, that's definitely already made a huge improvement as far as like it's just sharpness overall. Easier to manage. Easier to imagine how to take it off. All right, I'm going to delete this one and we'll rename this one. I'm going to call it Georgia. Oops. Can't blame my sticky keyboard for that typo. I'll call it Georgia base image. Upscaled. All right. Let's open that with Photoshop. And just close all our others. Nope. And then let's replace this. We'll replace this guy right here. Let's get its color. We're going to lose some of that model texture. Okay, we'll go in here. We'll just turn off contiguous and select the black. Control C, Control Shift V. And then we'll delete this layer. And then we'll do image trim. And Control S. Oh, it can't do it. That's fine. Let's just duplicate this layer back over on our base image and we'll call it Georgia. Oh, state. It's not the outline, it's the silhouette more like. Okay. And then we'll delete this one. And then we will convert that to a smart object, and we will do blending options, and we'll do a color overlay, and we'll pick that color. Okay, okay. And then we'll do Control T, and bring it down, way down. Control plus to zoom in, and then I'm using the space bar to flip over to the hand tool. It's such a complex shape, I think it's going to look better just a little bigger. Okay, and then we'll just turn that off, and we will select around this guy, and we'll switch to our brush tool, and we'll make it bigger, and we'll hold Alt and select that color, and we'll just paint it out. And we'll turn our state back on. Okay, it's a little bit messed up there. Let's just go ahead and do a solid color. Yeah, and we'll unlock this background and pull it down. And let's grab these guys. So I just made a solid color behind so that I can just grab these guys and just move them down. And that was just so I could also move. Oops. The state down a little bit. Because it is crowding that face big time now. That's probably good placement. So let's just select those guys again. And scooch them. And see with that solid color behind, you're not seeing what's happening. All right, let's let that be. Okay, I think we're good. So I'm going to save this as our Georgia State collage. So let's just right here in the main. And I'm just reminding myself it's a good working size. All right, saved. And let's go look at, well, let's look at right now what it would be like to take this to put this on white. So to put this on white, all we need to do is come in and make sure we're not losing any of the artwork. Crop it on this. And it takes all the stress out for the artist, you know, that's having to do this, because, you know, the customer that sent this in, maybe to our customer, already knows they like the image, you know, so it's not like our job to determine whether it's good or not. We can just let it go. And we've upscaled it, so we've got crisp detail when you zoom in. So it's ready. Let's look at our image size. Oops, cancel. And this is why we need to know the exact width in inches that you want. So, you know, we're gonna say, we'll do this at 12, and then we'll do it again at a lower size, you know, because they didn't tell us the width. You know, they just told us some shirt size or something like that. So we don't know what size they really want to make it. So we're just going to do it in a variety of sizes and let them choose what size they want to print it at. So what else can we do? I would do this white knockout tweakable. Now that we've got it to this size. Hold on, that's wrong. I'm screwing up. Let's do this. Now that we have it cropped, we're going to do File, Export, Quick Export as PNG, and I'm going to call it White Halftone Ready. And then we'll open that up because this one's got layers. And we don't want layers. And I have no idea where I just exported that to, so I'm going to go find out. I put it in pieces. That's what I did wrong. Let's put that there. Okay. And we'll choose that and we'll open it with Photoshop. And then we're just going to do our white knockout tweakable. And everything that's black is going to be preserved. I'm just seeing this big cliff on this side right there. Okay. I think that looks good to me. So let's do 150, 1, and 250. Nope, 240. I always try to come up with a way to remember it. Let's do 150, 1.1, and 240. 150, 1.1, 240. All right? And let's hit OK. Ooh, I think it's really good. It's bright, that's for sure. And let's put it on white. And I think it looks fine. We could try a different setting. Let's hit F12. And we'll do that again. And I'm going to go a little more saving. So I'm going to do 250. So let's do 160. Oops. F12. I hit enter too soon. I'm going to do 160. 1 and 250. Yeah. That just looks better to me. Okay, so you put this behind it, and now you just do F12, and then Control Z. F12, Control Z. So we're looking at things like these clouds and these flowers. F12, Control Z. Yep, and look at what we got here. We've knocked all that out, so it's going to be nice and soft. Everywhere you see the black coming through is where white would come through from the shirts. And essentially this is done. I mean, 18 minutes is where we're in this tutorial, and we're finished, you know, because you put this on white and you've got something pretty and you're done. And that's, you know, the best route. That's the best route for this. You got something soft, you know, it's got lots of transparency coming through, so it's going to feel good on the shirts. And there's just no more work required by anybody. Okay, so what do we do if that's not the case? Okay, so we're going to ChatGPT. We're going to Pro. We're on 5.6 Soul, Effort Pro. Okay. And we're going to add from our pieces that base image upscale. That's the one that's got some room around it. We don't want to use our halftone ready because it's too tight on the edges. You know, you want to give a little bit of space on the edge of the image. And then we want to write a great prompt for this. Okay, so recreate and redraw. You all see me do that all the time. Redesign it for a black shirt, so that's not something I normally say. Carefully reproduce. Oops, I hate when that happens. Let's put that creative is there. Carefully reproduce all the elements, considering how it will look against a black shirt. Keep the layout and composition the same. Isolate the final design on a black background. So like, you know, one obvious element we can all see that's not going to look good on black is the text, you know. That's got to be white. That's easy enough to do. But there's other parts of this image that are just going to kind of be lost against black. So let's see what she does here. Really spinning the dice. You know, you have no idea what you're going to get. So let's see. Okay, and we've got this. And so that's great. I think that's going to work out just fine. So we could download that. And it's done a lot of the things I was concerned about, actually. It's real subtle, you know. I think that it's done a fine job. Let's look at how it's done this. So see, it's put like a nice little white outline to pop that off. It's put a white around those birds so they're not lost. It's a very subtle and fine around these dark parts of this branch. Just a little bit of white outline. I like how it's filled in the space here. Yeah, I think we really got something here. Odd that it changed that to a different color. Oh, well, it needed to make it lighter. Of course it did. Of course it did. Okay. Yeah, I think we really got something here. So, you know, I was going to show you another technique, which was, you know, how we can like pull around those torn edges, or, you know, how we can, you know, make this suitable for gray. You know, I really feel like this might be enough to satisfy the client's needs, you know, so we might have just kind of lucked out here. And I think so. The more I look at it, the more I think so. All right. So let's load that in. We'll upscale this puppy the same basic size. We'll go a little bigger, actually. There's just a little bit different dimensions. Starting point dimensions. Okay. And we will follow our naming convention here. Actually, let's just put it in our pieces. Yeah. All right, here we go. So we're going to call this. We'll delete this one. We'll just keep the upscaled one. We'll rename it Georgia base image, Georgia black base image. We'll put that in our pieces. And then we'll pull this in. Open that with Photoshop. And we'll do our cropping. You know, we don't have to get right to the edge, but I like to like give them as close as I can without losing anything. That looks nice. And I think what we're going to do is try to see if we can be satisfied with just putting this on white or black. And it'll go okay on the gray. Maybe if it's a really dark gray, that'll go well. And then if it's a very light gray, you could put the white one and it'll go well. I mean, it won't be perfect, but I think that's our route. So let's just do File, Export, Quick Export as PNG. I'm going to call this Black Halftone Ready. Okay. And then let's, I'm just going to close everything else. This doesn't need to be saved. It's just been cropped in, but let's save it here. And then we're going to open the Black Halftone Ready. We'll do that first. And I'm going to start taking notes. So I'm just going to start taking notes here. on the black settings. And I'll save this as, we'll go to downloads. We'll go in here and we're just going to call it halftone settings. Okay. And then we'll set up for our white settings. And then we'll fill those guys in once we determine what they are. So let's just look at our size. So we're going to set this to 15 and 300. Okay. And I'm just going to save it. And here's our white halftone ready. Let's just do our image size. We'll do 15 and 300. And then we'll save it. Okay, so they're actually halftone ready now. And I said I'd do the black one first. It's just, I like the black ones better. Let's do black knockout tweakable. And what I'm looking at, the focus is the word Georgia. If I can keep these areas lighter, I'm going to be better off. So I'm just going to focus on that as I do this. See how that lightened up that gray? And then let's bring this in. It's helping. Let's really try to push it. So I'm just trying to lighten up that gray. Yeah, that's not doing much. See, that didn't affect it that much. So keeping it here, that's really pulling it. We gotta have something. There's gonna be dots there, you know. So let's do 6, 1.2, and 60. I'm just kind of using a mental trick there. I'm gonna write them down. Let's do 6, 1.2, and 60. All right. And let's hit it. And let's, oh man, look at how beautiful that is. So much ink gone. We'll put our black behind it. Oh, and it's too light. You know, I mean, it's too dark. So, I mean, there's things we can do here to try to fix that while saving the ink still. Let's do layer, new adjustment layer. We're gonna do, I'm gonna try this light one. I keep trying that. Let's just try taking up the exposure. I'm gonna take up the highlights. We'll take up the shadows. And we'll pump the whites. And increase the contrast. I don't know how much that's doing. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, it's doing a lot. All right, so let's try this. Let's hit F12 and then Control Z. Yeah. F12, Control Z. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. So we'll save this as our Georgia State College black. I don't know what to call this. I struggle with this every time. I mean, basically, I just want that light one layer so I can keep, yeah, let's say light. Boom. And then I'm going to, we'll save this off. So this is a 15-inch version. Nothing wrong with having that done. And so we're going to call this black half-toned 15-inch mic RTP. Okay. And you know, black, I don't know. It's sometimes I put 4 darks. I'm going to do that. And then save it. And then we hit, oh, I can just make this real easy. I can duplicate this layer and put it on new. Put it on new. Yep. I just have that light layer there. We'll hit F12. And, oh, I saved the PSD. So I don't need that. I can leave this open. And I'm just going to open recent, the black halftone ready. And then we'll just do image size. I'm going to go all the way down to 12 inch. And then I'm going to do our black knockout tweakable. And I've got my settings up over here on the other side. So I'm just going to do 6, tab, 1.2, tab, 60, enter. And then I'm going to do file, export. And I'm going to put this out as the Four Darks halftone 12 inch. And then I'm going to do F12. Oh, guys, I didn't do the right thing there. Control Z. Let's go back over here. Let's duplicate this layer and put it on that halftone ready. So we get that pop. That's what we needed. Not bad. You all probably caught that. All right, now let's just save over that guy. Yes. Then we'll do F12. It's not working, and I don't know why. Oh, because I'm on crop. F12. What is your problem? Revert. There we go. Okay, and then I'm just going to do image size, and we're going to go down to, probably a 10 inch. And hit OK. And then we're going to do our black knockout tweakable. And we're going to set our settings 6, 1.2, and 60. All right, and then we'll duplicate our little layer over there. Oops, wrong one, right here. Okay, okay. And this is our 10 inch. And we're going to do file, export, quick export as PNG, and just click there and type 10. F12, image size, 8 inch. That's getting pretty small. And we're just going to do our black knockout tweakable. And we're going to do 6, 1.2, and 60. Okay. And then we're going to do our duplication of our light layer, duplicate layer over there on the halftone ready. All right. And then we'll do file, export, quick export as PNG. And we'll do our 8 inch. That's probably as small as I'm going to go. All right. We didn't get width, so we don't really know what size. Okay, so now let's do our white. And I'm going to do the white knockout. And I cannot remember what our settings were. Maybe 140. And maybe 1. And 240. I don't know. Let's bring this over here. That's right, 240 wasn't enough. Let's do 250. So this time we're getting inside the cliff. I like that. Let's see what we get here. Actually, not bad. So let's put our solid color. I didn't write those down. It's really bright. I wonder if we can just do the opposite. Let's do a new adjustment layer. And we'll go with lights. And we'll just like kind of drop the exposure. Oh, okay. Oh, that's on the wrong thing. Yeah, drop the exposure a little bit. That softens it. I love this light thing. Increase the contrast. Highlights might drop them a little bit. I don't see that doing much. Shadows, we'll pump them a little bit. No, we want to drop them. Yeah. And then our whites, we want to soften them. And our blacks. Okay. Yeah. Create clipping mask. Yeah, that's better. Let's F12 it. And then Control Z it. Oh, it's too dark. Yeah, it's too dark. Let's reset this. Just do a little bit. And let's see what's doing. F12. Control Z. Ooh, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Okay. All right, so we'll save this guy as our white light. Okay, and then I forgot my settings, so I'll have to figure those out again. We'll do File, Open, Reset. We'll get that white halftone ready. We'll hit F12 on it. I have no idea why that's happening. Open recent. White, halftone ready. There we go. Okay. And I'll close my black one and this one. So I've just got these two. It's got my white light layer on it. Okay, and we'll look at our size. So we're at 15 inch. We'll do our white knockout tweakable. And I think we went something like 140, don't know, and 250. I'm gonna write that down this time. So we're gonna do 140.7, that's what I'll set it to. And 250. Shift tab goes back. Hit 7, tab, and then we're gonna hit enter. Yeah, we'll test it one more time. I think that's pretty good. And then we'll put our layer on it. It's on the wrong thing. Yeah, we're gonna test it. F12. Control Z. Okay, I'm good with that. All right, and then we'll just turn this off and we'll export it. And this is going to be for lights. And then we're just going to hit F12, and that's not working, and I don't know why. I can't revert it. What's its problem? F12. All right, look. Close it. Open reset. White headphone ready. Perfect. Image size, 12 inch. Okay. White knockout tweakable. I'm looking at my notes over here. It's 140, 0.7, and 250. Enter. File, export. Oh, don't forget your layer. On the halftone ready. File, export. Quick export is PNG. There's the lights. And then we're going to do F12. Works now. What do you know? Image size, 10 inch. White. 140, 0.7, 250. Okay. And then we're going to put our layer on it. Just get layer. And halftone ready. And file, export. There's PNG. And this is our 10 inch. Check myself. Yep. F12. Image size, we'll do our 8-inch. Okay. Lights, 140, 0.7. Whoa. Okay. 0.7, 250. Okay. And then we do our layer on it. And then we just export it. And that's going to be our lights halftone 8-inch. Okay. And I just want to look at that one against a white background. Or even like that background. That would be really nice. So that's what it's going to look like up close. You're going to see these holes. But that's what you want. You don't want all of it to just be solid. And there's parts of it you can't really even see the holes at all, which is beautiful. Exactly what we're looking for. Look at that. It's gorgeous. There you have it. I mean, got Georgia on my mind now. All right. Hey, I hope this was helpful. And I hope the customer's really happy. Oh, we have to make a preview, right? So let's do that. Let's make a preview. And here, we're going to take our biggest version. This is our 15-inch. Let's open that with Photoshop. Okay. And then we're going to do our image size. And I'm going to put this to 5 inches. And I'm going to put that solid color behind it. I like that little cream look. All right. And then we're going to do image canvas size. And we just put 100 pixels around. This is important. And then we're going to export this. And we're just going to call it preview. I call it preview lights. And then we'll also open that halftone for blacks, the 15-inch. We'll open that with Photoshop. And then we're just going to put our solid color. Doesn't matter what order we do this in. Put the solid color of black behind it. And let's do image size, 5-inch. Okay. And then we're going to do image canvas size, 100 and 100. Okay. And then we're going to do file. Oops. File, export. Quick export as PNG. I'm just going to call this one preview. All right. And then we're going to try a dark gray. Let's just try a dark gray. Yeah, it's just not going to look that great. Yeah, it's not going to look that great. But that's what we'll do. And I'm going to export this. And I'll call it preview gray. Okay. And then I'm just going to do image, let's try a light gray on the white one, right? Let's do that. So let's just change this to a light gray. We'll call that preview light gray. Okay. And then I'm going to do image canvas size, anchor in this top, and we'll expand this by 1600 and 1560. I'm just reading out the numbers up here. So we get this. And then we'll pull in the gray one and slam it up here. And then we'll pull in the lights preview. Slam it there. And we'll pull in the one named Preview, which is my black one. Put it there. All right. And then we will export this as Preview and save it. And then we'll clean up all our other stuff. So we're going to get rid of this one, this one, this one. Go away. Okay, and then we've got all of our stuff here. Everything's saved. It's time to go put it in the drive. And I'm just going to take the whole folder and upload it. So there's the whole folder going up. That makes it easy. And I'm going to grab the link to that folder, share, copy link, and we're going to go back and find that post. Okay, so you want to tag the customer, right? So you're going to do @Brandy. I completed another option for you. We did one for lights and one for darks and a variety of widths. You know, giving a variety is always good, you know, but it's really nice to know the exact width that they want. That just makes life a lot easier. You know, just the concern about trying to make sure that they do it, that they get what they need. That's what the concern is. So. Alright, and then we're going to post that. And then I'm also going to add our Georgia preview. And I'm going to say the work is complete. Making sure you see the comment. That's the link to the drive folder. If you do not change your view from, you got to change from most relevant to all comments. All right, there we go. That's it. There's the preview. Really gonna look best on white and black, for sure. But got options for both, and it didn't take us too long. I mean, this is less than an hour's worth of work, which is amazing for a project like this. So I hope this helps somebody out there. You know, the goal is always education, and I hope that you know, you can follow this type of tutorial. You know, download the free knockout actions from Crystal DTF. And as always, thanks so much for your orders and ordering transfers from us. That's what supports me being able to do this type of education. So take care and have fun making t-shirts. Bye.